wanaingia. Je, katika muungano wetu pia wa Afrika Mashariki protocols zinasemaje kuhusiana na kauli ambayo ilitoa pamoja na uhusiano wa jumuiya?
There are also concerns on Jamhuri Day, the notable absence of Yoweri Museveni, Samia Suluhu Hassan, Paul Kagame, Evariste Ndayishimiye as part of that.
Okay, let me start with yours. Do they normally attend Jamhuri Day? No. So, I mean, how do you ask about absence of somebody who normally is not?
Were they invited?
We didn't invite them. And they came, you know, some of the people came just because we are East Africans. Do I attend the national days of the other countries? I don't. So does that mean that there's a problem? No. So let's leave that one there. Number two, the relationship between Museveni and myself are perfect. The relationship between Kenya and Tanzania is perfect. The relationship between Kenya and Tanzania is perfect. On the visa issue, today, forget about my announcement, you don't need a visa to go to Tanzania. Neither do you need a visa to go to any country in East Africa. So the fact that we are actually formalizing what is already in place. So there is no contradiction between our visa-free and that. But let me say one more thing, if you allow me. I've answered that one quickly so that you can allow me to say something else. Let me say this, because, you know, let me tell you, the economy is very important to me. And that's why I want us to spend time there a bit. The economy is very important to me. I have told you that we need to raise revenue. Why am I targeting raising revenue from our assets? Look, for the example, Safaricom. Safaricom was a small department in telecom. Yeah? What did we do? We took it to privatization. We asked Vodacom to come and Vodafone to come and invest. We gave them 40%. Then we sold another 25% to the public in Kenya. Today, the small Safaricom that was at the corner in telecom today is the largest company in Kenya. Today, the value of Safaricom is 360 billion. Today, Safaricom is supporting 1.2 million jobs. Today, Safaricom has given the government of Kenya, through taxes, in the last 15 years, 1.3 trillion shillings. Today, Safaricom gives government of Kenya 20 billion average every year as dividends. Now, my good brother, that is the value of privatization. A small company has become something. Let me give you another example, KCB. We privatized KCB. It was an underperforming institution then. Then the value of Safaricom, of KCB then was 600 million. That time, in 1988, when it was privatized. What is KCB today? KCB today, its value is about 120 billion at the current rate. 120 billion. It is in 7 countries. It has 12,000 employees. It has 33 million customers. The value of what privatization does. So let us accept as Kenyans that a company like Kenya Pipeline, we can privatize. It will give us money. It will give us revenue.
Right.
We should be able to look at what do we do with the port. What have other countries done? So that we reduce the pressure on taxes because we can raise more revenue by sweating assets that we have.
Mr. President, taking you back to the question of the region.
Yes.
And specifically, President Museveni said that it cannot be that you're going to continue buying oil from brokers. And in fact, there's a change of policy in the Republic of Uganda to an extent that now their eunuch is the one that is going to import fuel. And there are other conversations, I'm sure you've seen them, that they want to go through the central corridor. Of course, it's at the initial stage of those conversations. Is Kenya becoming less attractive, less competitive in the region? And what are we doing to ensure that we continue to enjoy the place we have in a competitive manner? Because the Central Bank of Kenya Governor Kamuthuge has spoken to this question, saying that actually those are the countries have better FDIs as you speak.
And just because you want to answer those questions in a block, Mr. President, you were in China for many reasons, and Kenyans hope that you will come back with a deal on SGR so that we move away from a situation where our railway ended in the middle of nowhere. And you have Uganda that you need support from, and yet our relationship with our neighbors is becoming a concern if I would
according
say
to
that.
the media, it's becoming a concern.
So did we get something from China? Is Uganda part of the reasons why we didn't get the money to continue our SGR?
By the way, we approached China for the continuation of the railway as a package. Before I went to China, I had a conversation with President Museveni, and we agreed on the strategy to extend the railway. By the way, we have a strategy all the way. It is agreed, Kenya, Uganda, DRC, and even Congo-Brazzaville. We've all agreed that route, we will, all of us. And in fact, before I left China, the president of Congo-Brazzaville went to see the Chinese president with the same request for this SGR. Mm-hmm. So we are all aligned. So, and that tells you that we are good in the region. Your other question was
the oil brokers.
The oil issue.
Yeah.
We have agreed with Uganda on what to do. Uganda is a sovereign country. Yeah, they want to control their market. Mm-hmm. Their market at the moment is being controlled by oil companies in Uganda. Mm-hmm. They have made a different decision. For us, NOC, which is our national oil company, does not control fuel here because we are a free market. Yeah, fuel is brought by the private sector. Yeah, it is all these marketers that deal with the fuel. In Uganda, that has been the case. But Uganda is a sovereign country. If they decide that government wants to control using UNOC, that is a decision Uganda has made. As Kenya, we want to work, because we are a free market, we want to work with the oil marketing companies. All we do collectively is to source the product collectively, and then it is, so Uganda wants the product to go to UNOC in Uganda, and then UNOC distributes, which is fine by us.
Where does it pass? Through what port?
Through Mombasa. I think it's the only reasonable, if you look at all numbers, that is the only feasible route. Mm-hmm. What we have agreed with them is that we will agree on a structure where, using our pipeline, we will need to ration who uses the pipeline, because it is an asset.
Don't you think we're losing? Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but part of the exports for this country is oil to Uganda, isn't it? So aren't we losing that?
Why are we losing? The oil will still go through here. They will still pay the charges they have been paying to go to Uganda. It is not that we have been making money from Uganda. They have been buying their own. They have been buying fuel from the same source as we do. The only thing is that we've been sourcing it together.
So in the East African community, is there any conversation that countries like Uganda may choose to use the port in Tanzania?
Any country can choose whatever what is financially usable for them.
And therefore, what are you doing to ensure that we are competitive so that we don't lose?
We are very competitive, I can tell you. In fact, the Kenyan route is the only competitive route to go to Eastern DRC and to go to Uganda. In fact, we are having a conversation with Rwanda because they equally find this route, especially if we can connect from Kisumu across the Lake Victoria. That will even be a shorter route to Rwanda.
So, Mr. President, if we have agreed as a region on the railway infrastructure, and really is really important even for the economy, which you are passionate about, then what is the issue? Because first it was bankability of the project, and that was to be solved by the feasibility study. Then second, it was to be the region needed to come on board as a block so that the project can become viable into the long term. So if as a region we are aligned, what is the problem?
The challenge that we have now with the railway is twofold. Number one is that our headroom on debt, we cannot borrow anymore. So we have asked China to invest, not to lend us money. Yeah? We are having that conversation. And some of their companies are considering investing their money, yeah, instead of us borrowing the money. We are also having a conversation as to what is the timing. Mm-hmm. You know, when do we want this delivered? So those are the conversations that are going on. As you know, our exposure is on the limit. So we cannot, and I will not, borrow any more money. And I have made that commitment to the people of Kenya. What we can do is we are looking at alternative options. Can we have a public-private partnership that will see China and Chinese companies invest in the pipeline? That is the conversation that we are having.
Mheshimiwa, mwisho, kuna swala la DRC hapa. Tuna tatizo lolote taifa la Kenya na DRC?
Hatuna matatizo kabisa na nchi jirani ya East Africa ya DRC. DRC wako na uchaguzi. Sisi kama wa Kenya tulienda kuwasaidia katika changamoto walizo nazo kwa mambo ya usalama. Jeshi letu lilienda pale, tukasimamisha vita ambayo ilikuwa inaenda pale, tukiwa pamoja na ndugu zetu wa kutoka Uganda, kutoka Burundi na kutoka South Sudan. Tumefanya kazi hiyo kwa muda wa mwaka mmoja. Baada ya mwaka mmoja, wao wenyewe wamesema ya kwamba wanaona sasa msaada wetu imefika mwisho. Tukakubaliana, tukafanya summit hapa Arusha, tukakubaliana sasa sisi tutatafuta namna gradually to exit from the scene so that other countries can come and support them. Jana ama juzi kulikuwa na mkutano hapa Nairobi ya wananchi wa DRC, wakatoa statement. Watu wa DRC wakalalamika kwamba hiyo statement Kenya haingekubali hiyo statement itolewe pale. Msimamo wetu kama Kenya ni kwamba sisi ni nchi demokrasia. Na nyinyi mnajua, nyinyi ni watu wa vyombo vya habari. Hakuna mtu anauliza serikali kwenda kutoa taarifa yoyote. So they issued a statement from here. DRC wanted to know whether those people, we can arrest them. Then we told them, you know, Kenya is a democracy. We cannot arrest anybody who has issued a statement. We don't arrest people who have made us, we arrest criminals. If anybody has committed any criminality, we will go out of our way to deal with them. But issuing statements, how many people issue statements in Kenya against me? Every day, people are issuing statements left, right, and center. That is what the democracy is all about. And in any case, Kenya here has the biggest bureau. You guys know the biggest bureau of journalists from BBC. I don't know, CNN. I don't know where. Everybody is here. So, and that is what people are looking for. So, now, Kenya is a media hub.
By recalling the ambassador from Nairobi, what does that mean? Do you have a problem now?
If they decide that they want to recall our ambassador because a statement was issued in Nairobi, that is their right. But, you know, I cannot arrest anybody merely because they issued a statement. That is undemocratic. That is not how Kenya is. That is not the Kenya you all know. So, you know, we are all different. Countries are democracies in different ways.
Okay.
Mheshimiwa, mwisho kabisa kabla tujamaliza, siwezi kukuacha bila kuuliza swala la elimu. Tumepata malalamiko mengi sana. Nimepata jumbe nyingi tangu jana kuelezea kwamba tutakuwa na rais. Watu wengi ambao walikuwa wanafanya internship kuhusiana na JSS wanalalamika kwamba wanahitaji kupewa nafasi. Yani wapewe nafasi za kazi, manake muda wao unaishia mwezi huu, nafikiri tarehe 31. Umeweka mikakati gani ama mipango gani kuwaeka wakati ambapo pia junior secondary school inafaa kufungua mwezi wa Januari, waendelee na vile kuwe hakuna tatizo lolote kwa wazazi wanafunzi na hata pia mikakati ya serikali kuhusiana na swala la elimu. Naomba tujibu hili wewe kama rais.
Mimi nitajibu.
Manake isiwe mambo ya kupeleka kwa wizara itafanya hivi.
Hapana, mimi nitakujibu.
Ndio.
Mambo ya wanafunzi ama walimu wa JSS, Januari watakuwa kazini, kwa sababu tulitoa sera kama serikali ya kwamba sekta zote kabla ya kuajiriwa permanent and pensionable unafanya kazi internship miaka miwili. So they will complete, once they complete their internship of 2 years, we will hire everybody. So they need to relax. They need to go through the process. They will have the first priority when we hire teachers after the internship. And we are not doing internship only with teachers. We are doing internship with many other sectors. In fact, we've just gotten a cohort of interns at the public service, because internship is part of the learning process and the job process. So our interns that are doing a wonderful job as teachers, they need to relax. Nobody is going to take their place in January.
So they'll be what?
They will continue to complete. Yeah, they will continue to complete their internship
for 2 years.
2 years, which is a government policy, and that is understood. After the 2 years, they will be hired as we absorb others into internship to graduate slowly like that.
Okay. Unahakikishia walimu wote 50,000 hivi watapata kandarasi za kudumu baada ya miaka miwili.
Correct.
Mr. President, we want to wind up, but a lot of conversations and many questions that are coming in, including one who is asking that, back to our earlier conversation about the housing levy and that question of accountability. Do you know now how much has been collected from that levy and why it is?
I know that I don't have the final figures with me here, but I know we've been collecting ever since the law was passed, and it is on average about around 60 billion shillings or thereabout, plus or minus every month.
60 billion shillings?
Every month.
Yes. So
60 billion shillings?
I think so. I think that's the correct number.
So in a year that would be 60 times 12. What is that? 720 billion?
720.
Well, let me not. I don't know whether, maybe six, yeah, I think it is, sorry. I think it is about 6 billion, sorry.
Yeah.
About 6 billion. So I think every year it is somewhere between 60 and 80 billion every year.
Where is that money now?
That money is already constructing houses.
Under what law? What framework?
There is already a framework. Only the court said we fine-tune the framework. That money is already constructing houses under the framework with the Ministry of Housing.
That?
Some of it is being used we've already allocated to National Housing Corporation. And the construction of houses is going full steam across Kenya. We have, by the way, we have 33 sites, active sites going on. I want to ask you to go to Mukuru. We are building 14,000 houses in Mukuru. If you go today to Mukuru, you will not think it is a slum.
So
you will think it is in Europe.
That is being financed by these resources?
Yes.
Not private investor resources?
No, this is being financed by these resources.
So if it's 6 billion every month, you're saying 60 to 80 each year?
Every year.
So how many houses does that construct?
It will depend, because we are constructing houses of between 400,000 per house. Others will be 1 million. Others will be 3 million. It is different categories.
No, that's the selling price. I'm talking about the cost.
But the cost is commensurate with what you sell, because it depends with sizes. The smaller ones cost less. The 1 bedroom, the bed sitter, the 1 bedroom, the 2 bedroom, the 3 bedroom cost different. So it will depend on how many.
Mr. President, I asked that question because it's been a very stubborn question. Not many have an answer.
I have an answer.
Not your members of parliament, not your cabinet
I have
secretaries.
an answer. And in fact, if you call the ministry responsible, they will explain to you in detail.
Now?
Yes.
Okay.
In detail.
Mr. President,
yes.
The last question, which I was told to ask you, would be, is there hope?
Oh my goodness, let me tell you. We are going to change Kenya. I am very positive. I am very clear in my mind that I have only one mission: to change Kenya. And by the way, I have every intention to do it. And I know very well that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. But it is never too late to do the right thing. You cannot be wrong by doing the right thing. So I intend to transform Kenya. We have always known and wanted to do what we know is right. We know we should create jobs. We know what we need to do to create jobs. We know we should control our expenditure. We know what but the thing that has been lacking is somebody to lead the way in doing it. I intend to lead the way in doing it.
Mr. President,
changing Kenya.
We have to leave it at that. I think that counts for a good closing remark, unless you have anything else to add.
No, let me appreciate all you guys, and let me appreciate the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya are a great people. Even in very difficult times, I find a lot of encouraging messages. Many people tell me, we know things are difficult, we know you are having a difficult time, but keep on keeping on, because we know that finally this country will change. And I have every intention to keep it here until Kenya changes.
Mr. President, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
This has been a conversation with the President of the Republic, President William Samoei Ruto, with representation from different media houses, that is KTN News, TV47, Nation Media Group, K24, KBC, and Citizen TV. Good night, good luck. My name is Sam Gituku. Bye for now.